Thanks for stopping on our channel, which is dedicated to central heating. And as you can see, I've been doing this a long time. Whether you install or you have heating, hopefully my videos will make a difference, but please leave me a comment in the section below. Lights, action, camera, let's begin. Frost protection. Why do we need it? How is it done? And what's the problem? Well, first of all, if your boiler is installed in an unheated area, which we would class a loft, an outside loo, or maybe in a garage, your boiler has to have two frost protections. One comes with the boiler, and one the installer has to put in to protect the pipes from bursting. It's always been a requirement. Obviously it's compulsory because these pipes, when they burst, they bring down ceilings and do an awful lot of damage in the bedrooms, bathroom below. So first of all, as a householder, you need to get in touch with the installer, and you'll find that information from the benchmark installation manual. Now, all installation manuals, it doesn't matter who makes it, this is a Valent one, as I said, it doesn't matter. Towards the back is normally a page called benchmark, and here is written down who installed it, the serial number, the controls, etc., to make sure that whoever comes along and does any servicing or upgrades knows that the installation is as per British standards and codes of practice. And obviously we will have a guarantee. Now, quite often manufacturers will give a 10-year guarantee, which is brilliant, provided it's been installed correctly to their specifications and requirements. Nothing difficult, it's nothing awkward at all. They're very simple requirements, and each year a gas safe engineer comes along, checks the emissions, does the trap, whatever's necessary for that boiler model that that manufacturer asks to do on a yearly basis. And there may be another column after 3 years or 5 years, you need to do additional work, which is just the same as a car. We have a small service, then a biggie. Well, the same thing happens with boilers, but that's often overlooked. If the installation manual with the service requirements is missing from your home, or that page is empty, just contact the boiler manufacturer and ask for guidance. Tell them the situation, why you haven't got the book or why it's not been filled in, and see what they say. Also, if you do have the benchmark filled in by the installer, then contact that person and ask them, have you put in frost protection as per the manual and as per British standards? And on the service, on a regular service, if your boiler is in that place, just double check with that person who has to be gas safe registered that you do have a frost thermostat and a pipe stack fitted, and your heating pipes are fully protected. But don't forget, you've also got a hot water pipe and a cold water pipe feeding that boiler or that cylinder in the loft. They have to be extra protected as well. But we're concentrating on this video to do with frost protection on Combi boilers installed in unheated areas. And by having a boiler in the loft, that contradicts all of those things, because moving a boiler from here to here could make a big difference to your direct debit. It might even double, and that's talking about gas and water, because everything's going to go through here, past the kitchen, past the airing cupboard, into the boiler, and then the hot water, whatever, is going to go all the way back down to the floor level and then come back up to the kitchen sink. There's no saving there at all. It will cost you a small fortune. The next thing that you need to do is make sure that there's planks and decking across the whole loft, all the way from the hatchway to the boiler, with lighting and a proper loft ladder, because steps aren't allowed. Another problem we have here is that condensing pipe. It's got to discharge inside the building unless there are exceptional circumstances. Now up here, normally in the airing cupboard or the bathroom, for instance, there may not be any drainage to attach to. So that pipe has got to trickle all the way through here, all the way down to the house, and all the way down here to the kitchen sink. That's a huge amount of pipe work that's got to be added and hidden away. And if you've got a nice posh kitchen, I don't think you're going to like a white plastic pipe coming all the way down the wall. But that's going to happen, because very rarely you can do any other way. But we're concentrating on the frostat, and as you can see here, the frostat is level with the top of the boiler. It's normally 300 mil from the left side or the right hand side, and the thermostat is set at 5 degrees centigrade, so that's fixed. The other component here is a pipe stat, and you may have seen that on the cylinder, but it's been recalibrated to 25. So as soon as the loft comes down to here and it gets somewhere near the 7 degrees, the boiler frost protection will kick in. And normally that's going to be a pump running, and circulating water is less likely to freeze, but it doesn't always fire up the boiler, probably very rarely. But as the temperature drops to about 5, then this one will go to the boiler and fire the boiler up. Now, because the cylinder thermostat is set at 25, only a few places around here will get hot. The whole house is not going to be bulging with heat unless this is missing. And that happens because I've seen it on many occasions, and I've had to wire in a pipe stat to stop it overheating. So if you do go away in the winter months, you know for a certainty that the pipe work is well protected, but the whole house is not going to be bulging with heat for 2 weeks while you're away. But don't forget, as I said earlier in the other clip, there's a cold pipe and a hot pipe that needs lagging, and also the condensing pipe that will need lagging as well. Now, the second part of this is controllability and switching the appliance on and filling. And that's done here in the airing cupboard. And what we provide is a spur, so we can switch the boiler off in case something is wrong. Because you may have a smartphone and it'll give you an error code saying you've got no water. Someone's got to go up here and then top it up. So we have a pressure adjusting valve, and here's a picture of what I'm talking about, and it's set to 1 bar pressure for a 3-bedroom semi or smaller. It would be 1.4 for a larger house. That means the system cannot be overfilled, and it's much easier to fill the system up from the installer. Another thing to consider when the boiler's in the loft is the pump, because the largest pump that we use is 6 meters. So that's from that screw located here to the furthest radiator, which is going to be either the lounge or the hallway. And that boiler is going to need support, and that's done by an external expansion vessel, a red one. And here's the picture that we normally show, which quite often boilers further away from the big double Ks need support to keep that pressure down at 1 bar for a 3-bedroom semi or 1.4 for a larger property, as I keep reminding everybody. So what we need to do is to make sure that it's connected to that return of the boiler and support the heat to make sure that as the boiler fires up, it's able to get from here to here as quickly as possible. Because what will happen is that the boiler will fire up, the heating system is basically down here, it'll then switch off and be lovely and happy. In the front room and the hallway, stone cold or just not warm enough. And the only thing that you can do is either turn up the room thermostat and the boiler thermostat, which is going to cost a small fortune. So always bear in mind location of the boiler to the largest radiators. So here's our rig that we've got our frost stat and our pipe stat wired into a valent PCB or any. So it's just a single wire. It starts from the live terminal of the PCB, goes into the frost stat, out of the frost stat, into the pipe stat, out of the pipe stat, into the boiler switched live terminal. So when the temperature drops to less than 5 degrees, the boiler will then fire up and warm up just a small amount, because this will then kick in at 25 degrees to stop the whole house bulging with heat for days or weeks or even months. The further north you are in United Kingdom, you could have a frosty loft or garage for, as I said, for several months, which would be a small fortune. And that's why this pipe stat is absolutely crucial to stop that overheat and keep the bills as low as possible. And as I said in the other clip, often not done. Installers will put this somewhere near the boiler, which is fine. So that's the on, but there's no off. But the question is, we've got a Y plan there. So where would we connect this yellow switched wire in there? So we've got a choice of wires. So let's take a look. So here's our typical diverter valve. In common with all the other makes of Danfoss, Drayton and so on, it's going to have some live wires. And here we've got a grey, we've got a orange and a white wire. And of course the boiler is going to have a brown wire to actually fire up. So the question is, from that pipe stat, a wire has to go to one of these three and that fourth one there. So which one do you think it is? Do you think it goes straight to the boiler to fire it up? Sounds logical. The white one, the orange one, or the grey one? Which one did you pick? The answer is white. The white wire moves this motor into central heating mode. When it gets to the end of the track, a micro switch transfers that voltage to orange, and the orange wire is connected to the boiler switched live and the pump if it's the external one. So it's the white one is the correct answer. Before we continue on, this final part is to subscribe to our channel on YouTube and have a look at other videos which can make a difference to your install inside, or if you're an end user, to make your system much better and cheaper to run and obviously more efficient. So let's go back to these two valves. This is known as two zones, sometimes S-plan. So we've got one valve for the hot water cylinder recovery and then one valve for the central heating, which is the one that we're interested in. And the wires that we have here are grey, brown and orange. And the question again is, which is the one we connect that pipe stat to? And the answer is brown. All of the manufacturers use brown for zone valves and white for diverter valves, so we know which is which and we don't mistake these motors for that body because it won't work correctly. And that's one of many faults that certain companies have on a regular basis. So just look at the wires. Obviously here, we don't do that. We don't change the motor, we don't change the head, we drain down the system, and in this case, we would change both valves because they're the same age, even though one is faulty. So I've hoped you've enjoyed these little videos on frost protection and why it's so crucial and important as part of your system if your boiler is in an unheated area. Take care.